Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 18th annual Shuttlecast. My name is Sal.
My name's Nathan.
And, brother, I gotta talk about this week in cinema.
Oh, shit. We got some news?
I mean, the news is that nothing fucking came out. Oh, shit. Cursing. We're not monetized. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, no. Not with that attitude. It's fine. We've got the little intro that goes for...
Motherfucker.
You know,
oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Nope. Now it's gone.
Yep. See ya. Okay, I took a screenshot of this. So, because every week I make it a point to go to the movies. Because I like them. Right?
Yeah.
So, it was like, I'd say that usually like on a Wednesday, I'll like check to see what's happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And kind of make like a game plan on like what I'm going to go see on the weekend. So this past weekend, for the opening day of October 11th, 2024, 4 movies were coming out. And you might think, oh, wow, 4 movies. Let me read you the list.
Oh, God.
And this is in order of how they showed up on my Atom app, not in like any sort of like actual order.
Okay.
So the first one they showed me was Saturday Night. Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
It's a movie about the first episode of Saturday Night Live.
Man, if Saturday Night Live was still good, I'd be curious.
But this is back when it was good.
That's great, but I feel like it's just a way to kind of fillet it and be like, hey, isn't Saturday Night Live great? It feels like a cheap tactic to pop ratings because they don't make good stuff anymore. Ooh. But I don't know.
Man, is there even a good thumbnail I could put for SNL? There probably isn't. I guess maybe just a picture of like Chris Farley or something. And I'm not even gonna bother doing it. We'll save this space for later. You know what kind of person I don't like? Which is a great way to start.
Please.
I hate the people who are like who watch SNL. I don't like them. And I don't like how they're all very elitist about how they watch SNL and how they have their favorite eras. And we're always in the bad era. We're never in the good era. And then like, I've been on this earth for like almost 30 years. So I've seen people go from like this era of shit to then like you time travel 10 years. And they're like, man, I remember 10 years ago when SNL was so good. I mean, all these great people. And it's like, was it so good? Or like, is it like their remembrance of that time? Or is it that everyone who was in SNL at that time that you were once watching it where you thought it sucked, it's not been 10 to 15 years and now they've gone on to have like real careers outside of SNL? And you like them now, but not then? Like, what is it? And like, why are you so... People like know like the writers and like the people involved in the whole cast. Like, yeah, the cast for SNL in 1992 is blah 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 blah, and this person and that person. Remember this one skit? And it's like, no, brother. Why do you?
Well, see, it's with SNL is very interesting. I'll take a phrase. I'll retool a phrase that we had back when AEW Dark was still a thing.
Oh man.
Where it's not bad to be on SNL, but it's bad to stay on SNL. And like, you have Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Farley. They're like, yeah, they did SNL, and then they went on to do stuff. And then you have like the SNL lifers that like they can't escape.
Yeah.
And they've just like settled, and it's like, oh man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, but I think my own exposure to SNL, I've just seen the best of Dana Carvey and a couple of Chris Farley sketches, and I was like, this is kind of funny. I don't want to watch a whole show about it. and that was it. I'm curious to watch Monty Python's Flying Circus. That seems like just the better version.
And
So,
there's less of it.
and there's less of it. It
Saturday Night
stops.
Live is like, it's still going.
It is. That's insane. It's like The Simpsons.
I think it's important for young comics and comedians to have like a place like this to go and like, because you have to be making like weekly sketches. It does like sharpen you. I just don't have to watch it.
No. Well, and see, like, because this sort of format was a little more common, like, back in, like, the 70s and 80s, and I'm, like, not against the idea of a variety show. Like, that could be good. It's just, like, I feel like inevitably there's at least going to be some stuff that you don't really give a shit about. It's like that's like in an ideal world, when they do it really well, like Monday Night Raw can be a really good variety show, primarily wrestling, but sometimes they'll have some other stuff going on. But when it's really bad, it'll be like, oh, there's a little bit of wrestling, and then oh boy.
Yeah, I actually hate these people who like SNL. I'm sure we lost some people there.
I can't. No, we hate them. Fuck you. If you stuck around.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I actually fucking despise you.
That's right. And if you like SNL, you should smash that like button, because you're watching now and we're talking about it. So therefore you like this.
It's basically like it's an SNL bit. So the second movie that came out this weekend, My Hero Academia, You're Next.
Hey, I stopped watching that. So
me too. Yeah, I'm not. That's like a movie and a series I'm not watching. So I was like, well, I'm not seeing that.
Is that the third or fourth one?
You think I even know?
Because I remember back when they did the second one, and they were like, "Okay, we're done," and then and then there was more.
Yes, well, I think that's the thing about like popular anime manga that that gets popular, is that they're like, we have to have more of it. Have to keep, have to elongate it, when it's like, no, it was great.
Yeah, the fact that it happened twice here, where like the manga was going, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm about 40% of the way through," and they're like, "What? We're printing money," and he was like, "Oh, I'm about 15-20% of the way through."
That's why I respect. I respect the guy who made this Chainsaw Man. He ended it. It's not over, but like the first big arc that I feel like when I read it, I was like, this easily could have been like 200 chapters, but it was 100 chapters. And I respect that you were like, no, we're keeping this pace and we're finishing.
It's maybe I just haven't seen enough or read enough, but at the same time, I don't really want to see or read anymore. But that does feel like a thing with popular shonen anime and manga, where they just like even when they're more or less maintaining their artistic integrity, they just don't seem to know when to end. Because One Piece is at like 15,000 chapters now, and Naruto eventually ended, but then we got Boruto, and it's like, and Bleach got executed, so that wasn't by choice. I'd have to review. I'm curious if there's like a long running manga or anime that did end on its own note and then continue to keep dipping into that well. Seems unlikely.
I mean, I think I like about Death Note is that it had its run, it ended, but then like every couple years I got like another like short manga where it's I'm
like halfway through the anime, so I'm
Or
I really want to check out the weird live action shit.
Yes, dude. Here I'm adding I think this is the villain for the movie. He's called Dark Might.
Oh, that sucks.
And then maybe I'll put an SNL logo on top of him. Let's see.
Oh no.
The third movie to come out this weekend was Terrifier 3. Which you would think that me being like a sicko horror movie lover, I would have been like there day one for Terrifier 3. Admittedly, I've not seen Terrifier 1. No, I've seen Terrifier 1. I've not seen Terrifier 2. And I did not think Terrifier 1 was really all that good. Admittedly, though, very small budget, indie filmmaking, there was definitely a chance that once they got to like a bigger stage, bigger money, they could have like made more money and then made like a better thing. I have the absence of a will to watch it. So I didn't see Terrifier 3 starring Chris Jericho.
Yeah, The Learning Tree. I saw the first Terrifier like a couple months after it came out because I had heard everyone being, the weird marketing that horror movies have now, where it's like, oh, people passed out in the theater, people threw up in the theaters when they watched this.
And then every time you watch one of these movies and you're like, this is not anything.
I'm vaguely bored. The creepy mime guy does look a little scary, but that's kind of it. Yeah. It's like if it's like if they didn't give Pennywise any actual like set pieces in it. He just like showed up and I was like, ooh. All right. That was Terrifier to me. It left my brain went smooth. It didn't find any grip.
I was terrified.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's and he's good. The guy who plays Art the Clown in Terrifier, he's good. I mean, I know he's also in like one of his first things was like a Nightwing fan film series where he played the Joker.
Okay, that Terrifier. That checks out.
Yeah, the first one, it just felt very like self-indulgent in its own gore, and not like Saw. The reason why Saw is a good gore horror movie is because it has the interesting character dynamics on top of the gore, so like you feel it. Whereas Terrifier was just like, I think it just wanted to terrify me, and I was like, oh, that's all right.
That's the thing. Like whenever people talk about how Saw is just like mindless gore porn, I'm always like, have you seen Hostel? Watch those side by side and tell me that you feel the same by the end of them.
Like, that's what I think you're thinking, because it's not what the movie is.
No, indeed. It's it's all about the will to act.
Yes, well, you do what needs to be done to save yourself.
Yeah,
the Saw movies are fucking amazing, bro.
They're great. Most of them.
Yes, the ones that ended with the final chapter or whatever.
That's right.
Obviously.
Hey, Socks was pretty good too.
Socks was fun.
Socks was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed Socks.
I think we're getting Sexy next year, so
yeah, we're getting more. Yeah. Always more. Bro, why is there no good thing for this? Then there's also the fourth movie is the movie Piece by Piece. It's a new Lego movie.
Oh no.
And the movie, have you not heard about this at all?
It's crawling in there in the black matter of my brain.
It is a musician biopic.
What the fuck?
Done in Lego.
As with Legos?
Yes.
Oh.
And it is biopicing Pharrell.
I have no idea.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, when you make a biopic and you don't have like anything to really signify other than the name, I was like, for a while, like, who?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, hey, I mean, it's weird. It's interesting. I'm sure people are gonna dig it. Man, this corner of the thumbnail looks awful. I'm so sorry, but I don't want to take up that much space. But yeah, those are the 4 movies coming out in theater that came out in theaters last weekend. That's the depravity of what I had to deal with.
Well,
So I didn't see a movie in theaters this weekend, dude. Because there's other movies I wanted to see, because I was like, oh, there's some stuff that like I haven't had a chance to see yet. This is a great time to go see it. There was this one Holly Berry horror movie where she's like tethered to her house and so are her kids. And if you break the rope, a monster's gonna get you. That was already out of theaters. And then also there was a new horror movie starring, it was called Azrael, starring Samara Weaving, who's in Ready or Not.
Oh shit, I didn't know she was in it.
Yeah, and it was also out of theaters already. And I was like, but it just got in theaters though.
That's the thing. So
made $500,000 at the box office. Yeah, I know, because you wouldn't let me see it.
Yeah, well, it's expensive to run theaters.
Jesus Christ.
That's the funny thing. Small diatribe. I've started making my year by year playlists of movie trailers in order of release of the movies. So
I love you.
I've done 2024 that has over 500, and then I'm halfway through 2023. But that's like one of the interesting things, because I've watched maybe like 25 or 30 so far. And it's so funny to be like, that looks like a kind of intriguing horror movie. Like, I didn't hear anything about it. And granted, I don't go to theaters as often as you do, but I'm always like, man, and when I was collecting it, I'm just going off of Wikipedia articles, so I got like the brief, like here's the director, here's the cast, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize this actor did something this year, and
yeah,
he's been in like
so
2 or
bizarre.
3. Yeah, the movie business, weird shit.
It's beyond insanity. Honestly, it's like you have this movie that, like, if I could see it, I would be seeing it, but like you don't have it available to me. And like what's crazy about this one, I'm gonna try to add it to the thumbnail, but can't get a good motherfucking like image of it. Why is that one AI? I could tell that one's not real. Help!
Oh man.
Sweet Jesus. Kill the robots, please. I have to grab one that's like an edit of, okay, no. This is, oh my goodness, this is so terrible. This is cursed. That is cursed.
Oh no.
The people at home are gonna love this one. Let's see. We're just gonna. All right. But what's real annoying about this whole thing is that this movie came out on September 27th. Okay.
Yeah.
And October 9th, I was like, oh, I hope that's playing this weekend. It's been less than a week. It was already out of theaters. There's been like about a week out of theaters. And I'm like, why even bother putting it in theaters, man? It's like, dude, what are you doing to me? It was so weird because like this barrel, and then it made $500,000. I'm like, you could have made at least $1 million if you had like kept it in theaters for more than like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but we got to get it on X streaming service within a month, so that.
Dude.
Again, I forget if we talked about it, but I listened to this interview with Matt Damon talking about like 90s movies and shit like that, and he's like, yeah, it's so crazy because you would have a movie in theaters for a few months, and then that would be a pretty good gauge of how successful it is, and then once you take it out and you keep it away for a few months, like the home media release would be like a second windfall for the movie. Like you could almost make the same amount on like the release of its home media as when it was in theaters. Exactly. And now it's this terrible fucking system where it's coming out in theaters and it's barely making its budget or not even making its budget back, but we got to get it out of theaters quick so that we can throw it onto a streaming service, because the newer the movie is, as it comes out on our streaming service, maybe that will get us more subscribers and our streaming service will finally be profitable. And it's like, oh God, it's a fucking mess. No, you're never going to make money.
Never. So I just want to piggyback for a second Wait a second. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. I was mistaken. I was mistaken.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so another weird biopic thing.
What?
There's a new movie that got announced, which I didn't actually watch the trailer with sound on because I was like, I don't feel like doing that to myself.
Sure.
So there's a new movie coming out called Better Man, which at first I thought was a Robin Williams biopic, where it's instead of the main character being Robin Williams, it's a monkey. Like a Planet of the Apes ass monkey.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm now figuring out that it's actually a biopic on the singer I've never heard about before called Robbie Williams.
Oh, they gotcha.
Who the fuck is Robbie Williams?
You know,
who the fuck is Robbie Williams, man?
You know, it's like Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan. You know, you got it's a little close. You've done enough.
At least Pharrell, like, you go, wait, there's a new biopic about Pharrell? Oh, it was a Lego one. Oh, okay, well, I know who Pharrell is. I guess so. But who the fuck is Robbie Williams?
He's the star of the biopic.
About himself.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that this was not about Robin Williams. I was thinking it was Robin Williams for like 2 weeks now.
Damn.
All right, damn. You want to know about a movie, though, that didn't even get a theater release in the U.S.?
Please tell me.
The Crooked Man. Damn, nothing?
Is it not picking up?
No, I didn't know. Did you leave me on red?
No, I blasted. Hold on. You don't hear anything?
What's he saying? What are you doing?
I'm trying. Damn it! Why? The bit is ruined.
Is the soundboard not working?
No, I'm trying to blast Gangster's Paradise on my phone, and I guess it doesn't come up.
No, it knows you're playing off your phone. It knows better.
What? Boo!
The AI is too good. I'm sorry.
That sucks. Oh well. Damn it. It's fine. I was playing Gangster's Paradise because, you know, this was my most anticipated movie of the year. It's finally out on digital. I think it was October 8th. Coming to Blu-ray December 17th. So
that's right, everyone. We finally watched The Crooked Man, Hellboy, The Crooked Man. After, I say since the dawn of this podcast, we were hyping this movie up.
Because I think it got its first release somewhere in like April or some shit of this year. And so we were always like, okay, yeah, you know, give it like a month and it'll show up here. And then like eventually it was like, oh, here it's coming to fucking like Thailand and Ireland. And Joe kept insisting that he'd be able to find a copy from the Canadian release, but I don't think there was even an announced Canadian release. I think that was you know, a lot of optimism. But yeah, and then eventually
that's pretty funny.
I forget, one of us found the article. I forget who. Might have been Joe. That was like, okay, we officially have the video on demand release in the US of Hellboy, The Crooked Man. And if it had been in theaters, I would have seen it in theaters. But yeah, so, you know, watched it, and it was alright. Yeah.
I have a really interesting take on the Crooked Man movie.
So I actually just rewatched it today to
rewatched it. I love you, and so does whatever the company is.
That's right. Yeah, no, they do.
Because the first time I bought it on Amazon.
I did. I bought
Man.
it. I own the Crooked Man. I'm gonna get it on physical release as well because I'd rather have that than a digital. But
you might lose it in like a day.
Exactly, because you know, in another week or two, Amazon might be like, "I'm sorry, we don't have the license for it anymore, so you don't have access anymore."
Fucking
it's like,
shoot me in the face, man! Shit, oh, you fuck.
But yeah, because the first time I watched it, I was only
Sorry.
able to watch the first half, and then I had to prepare dinner and run up here and do the podcast, and then I watched the second half the next day. So I was like, okay, let me sit down and actually watch
Yeah,
this
your flow was
as
fucked.
one film. Yeah. Um, so upon this most recent rewatch, it did solidify that the opening fucking sucks.
I
It is.
uh I wouldn't say it sucks.
It's. I mean, it's the roughest
It
part.
is the roughest part.
It's
100%.
like as soon as BRPD agent number 2 starts speaking, I'm like, oh no, he sucks.
But then he
Yeah,
doesn't, they get him out of there pretty quickly.
they do. It feels like they started shooting and they were like, oh shit, we forgot to cast this person. Who's the key grip? Can we get you in for a line or two? and then and yeah, and that's also, some of the rough CGI of the giant spider and
I don't know what you're talking about.
the it was even funnier this time to watch. So they're riding in a train
Hell yeah,
and their cart gets derailed.
bro. Yeah.
Um, and to my knowledge, maybe it
Mm-hmm.
was different in 1959. But to my knowledge, train carts are kind of like attached. So
It got
if
hit
one
real
of
hard
them
though.
if one of them was to rock over and fall off the tracks, I would assume that the other ones behind it would be following. But they just kept right on.
Why are you thinking so much about this?
It was baffling. And then, of course I see a fucking train car rolling down a mountainside and I'm like, oh, okay, well the girl's dead. Hellboy is probably alive. But then I guess they just fell out
Oh
and
my
they were
god.
just rolling on their own. That
Yeah.
was lucky.
Yeah.
Um, oh boy.
I don't see any problems so far with what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. Fair enough. Oh man. But no, I did quite like this movie.
Yeah.
I I have a handful of criticisms here and there.
Yeah. One or
Um,
two.
one or two. I for the most part, I really like the guy playing Hellboy.
Yeah, he was great.
I love how much he's like he just had so many reaction noises where it was just like, uh, oh shit, and
I
like just
I enjoyed teenage rebellious Hellboy trying to be really cool.
man, he was a fucking chain smoker. That was like those were some long drawn out drags of a cigarette and then he'd finish it and then he'd immediately grab another one.
It
And
was awesome as fuck.
I was like, I don't know if this is like a deliberate character choice because it almost feels like they're splicing multiple takes together. So he was just smoking and like burning, like you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I couldn't nail it down. But I loved it. I love that he sprinkled in a reference here and there to remind us that it was in fact 1959.
Yes.
Because I forgot. So like it was such a weird moment when he and Agent Bobby Song they come up to the house in the woods and they're like, "Do you have a telephone?" And the old lady's like, "Yeah, it's in the back next to the color TV." And I was like, for a second, I was like, is she making a joke? Because of course everyone has a telephone, and like I'm like making fun of you for assuming because I'm some mountain person that I don't have this. But then she went on where it was like, and the chicken that shits silver and Mercedes Benz, and I was like, oh shit, no, they don't have a phone or any of that because
Yeah, or
it's
anything.
fuck,
What are you talking about? Do you see any power lines here, lady?
fuck.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, so my feelings about this movie
please.
are I don't view it actually as a movie, and that's what makes it better for me. I
Hmm.
feel like what I watched was a TV movie for the Hellboy ongoing adventures TV show.
I really hope so.
Like that's when I watched it. Like I watched like a variety of things, you know, from like big budget movies, shows, and then I on the other hand will be watching like Kamen Rider, which is like low budget superhero Japanese TV shows that churn out like 50 episodes a year every year without fail since like 2000. Sure. So like I'm used to this. So once it started and I noticed the quality, my brain just switched from I'm watching a movie to I'm watching a tokusatsu movie now. And it made it a lot better. And not only that, but like it does with the quality. I mean, not saying the quality was low, but it was you know, the camera work was interesting. The makeup, I'd say for 95% of the movie was spot on. There's like one shot towards the end when they're running towards the helicopter where I saw the seam in Hellboy's horn cap, and I chose to ignore it.
There was definitely a time or two where I was like, I have to stop looking at Hellboy because I'm noticing that the horned bald cap makes his head just a little bigger than it's supposed to be.
Yep. Just look at his eyes and his mouth, and you're fine.
But it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. And once and if you think of the movie as like a Xena, Hercules, Buffy level, like we spliced together 2 episodes and made a movie.
Sure.
All of a sudden you're like, you know, that train effect was pretty good. That spider looked pretty good.
Well, see, it's so funny because I wish that it had been, because this was a very, you know, pretty faithful adaptation to the Crooked Man storyline.
They even had the bit of her explaining the witch balls, and I was like, this is amazing.
See, I loved that. It's weird because they had like the little chapter headings with like the witch ball, the cat bone, the hurricane, and I wanted
the episode titles.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted each one to do the witch balls thing where it goes back to Grammy Oaken and is like, I'm gonna explain it to you, because I loved it. So it was so silly. But also, like, you're in a bit of a bind. This is a concept that all of the people on screen already know about, so there's no reason for them to explain it. But you know, it was great. But I think for me the weakest part of it was all the stuff that they added to make it feel more like a complete Hellboy story. Because like, if it had just started with us following like Tom as he's going through the woods, and then all of a sudden he bumps into Hellboy, I'm all for it, because I fucking hated Agent Bobby Song. I was trying to find a way around. She sucked. I
have to disagree with you.
I don't think she added anything, and she had the most moments where to me she had the most moments. Hellboy's fun one-liners, which I granted him, but she had like a handful of lines and things where I was like, that doesn't sound like 50s at all. That feels distinctly modern.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
You know. Also, they're like weird low-key romance that they, I don't know.
I took her being a bit more like modern sounding as her being like from the city.
Sure.
That's how I perceived it.
But I don't think people in
they don't. But that's how I.
Okay.
That's how I coped with it.
All right. Listen.
I'd say she added a
fucking bird.
I'd say she added a good amount. I enjoyed having someone there to like counterbalance Hellboy and to just provide some interesting insights to situations. I thought she was a fun character. She is in no means perfect. I'm sure she'd be better in the Hellboy, the Adventures of Hellboy TV show.
Sure.
Where we could have had a longer character arc with her, so that this was a bit more like, it really does feel like to me, it's weird. It feels like it's like a lost episode of a TV show that I just watched, and there's no more episodes. They all got lost in the fire.
Damn. I feel it.
I thought she was fine. Yeah, definitely a bit like, I don't know how you'd say, like anachronistic in her dialogue.
Yeah, and it was, I think, also just because she was tied to the setup, so they
Yeah,
lose
and
this.
the spider.
Yeah, they lose this fucking demon spider, and then they run into this problem with witches, and she's immediately like, "Hey, let's figure this out." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Shouldn't she be getting back?"
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. And again, I feel like that would have worked better if it had been like the comic where we just bump into Hellboy and we're like, "Oh shit, I don't know what
Yeah.
you're up to, but I guess you have free time."
Yeah, whereas this, it's like, oh, we're doing a thing, but we're gonna stop and do this thing for a minute.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time. I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I It was pretty
I think the
faithful.
two highlights for me were definitely Hellboy, and I really liked the actress who was Effie Cobb, because holy
Yeah,
shit, she was fucking chewing the scenery.
she was
Like, all
nasty.
of her shit was so good.
But I'd say yeah. I hope that if they could maybe do like a series of these, like every year or two, just get like an episode. I mean, a movie.
I do really hope so. I don't know
Man, you
if.
are crackling so hard on my end.
Oh shit, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Let me.
You're
I'm
crispy.
coming. I'm coming through my mic, right?
You are
Let
deep
me
fried.
hold on a second.
It
Let
started
me
like
make
2 minutes
sure.
ago for some reason. Sorry, everyone. Technical difficulties.
Sorry, all right. Let me here. I'll change and then reset my
Okay, okay.
default.
I'll just blab. But yeah, this does
Is
feel like I would have liked it a lot as like a as a show, and I guess that's how I can kind of like make this way better in my head than it probably actually is. Because a movie, it doesn't really hit as well as it would if it was like a show, which is probably why I like to view it in that light to make it a bit more of a better experience for me. Because I view it as like a strictly as like a movie. This has a lot of issues, which is probably where your issues come in, Nathan. Is that you're like looking at it as a movie, and it's like, setup's not good, effects are kind of meh. There's a lot of like weird things that are in here, but like which would
oh
be,
no,
oh god, you're
I
even
think
worse. What the fuck?
I'm even worse.
You sound like you're
Oh god.
underwater.
Hold on. Let me hold on a second. What the shit?
Help him. It is almost Halloween.
Is this any better, or is that
Well,
worse?
oh, that's better. That's You're quieter, but you don't sound like you're underwater anymore. He's dead, Jim.
Is this all right?
Yes, dude.
Okay. I I've just been switching back and forth between my microphone. I have two different ones that are for my Yeti. One is default microphone. So, but it sounds okay now.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It's okay. Yes, you're good. Okay, sorry.
No, yeah, I was just saying, like, from the very beginning, I was like, okay, this is indie film. So I'm not expecting good effects. I'm not expecting great performances. I know that we're filming The Crooked Man because it's 85% in the woods. Um, so I think it does work as a movie, but I think that it works less well when they try to contextualize it as a like here's Hellboy within the context of his whole series. Like, this feels like they are wanting to establish the character with this story, which I don't think works as well.
Yeah, they try to put in a lot more stuff with like the mom, with Hellboy's mom.
Yeah, and yeah, and there's a lot of exposition, and I know there is in the comic too, but it's a lot of people being like, "This is what I did when I was a kid that caused all of this to happen," and and this is a person that I know and why I know this, and it's like, oh boy, I remember the director saying that it was like making an adaptation of a Stephen King story, but holy shit, I wasn't expecting that from Crank.
Oh yeah, this is the crank guy.
This is Crank guy. Which is interesting. It's so funny because the Crooked Man does not have a whole lot of action, And like it I don't know about you, but to me, like, each time there was an action sequence, like the longest one is like 2 minutes. And so
Yeah.
it always feels like they're trying to ramp right up into that crank feel, but like half the time it'll be like 10 to 15 seconds of like quick action, and then it's like, oh, we're done. And I was just kind of left like, oh, okay, we're done now. Oh, okay, that's cool. It was jolting. I don't know if that was the intended effect. Um,
Yeah. Well, it's Hellboy, bro. He's
but
got a big fist. He takes care of problems pretty easily.
it's true. He does, and he got the sweet fucking crucifix shovel, which I loved.
Dude, watching,
Uh,
because like my husband hadn't read the comics, so getting to live through him seeing that for the first time and have it be on screen was pretty hype.
it's it's a big moment. It made me want to read the comics. And yeah, and I saw I didn't notice this the first time, but they apparently have a Hellboy Studios, so I
Oh.
think they want to make more. I hope they do. I'll watch more. I'll buy
Hopefully, or it
more.
was a thing where they had to like make it incorporated for tax reasons just for the movie, then they'll dissolve it after the movie. But I hope they do
Yeah,
more. I hope they do more. I really do. I think that this could be like, I'm not sure how intensive the makeup would be to have on an actor for like a series.
yeah.
Because I imagine that might suck. Case
I
depending.
at the very least, I don't think this would be your wished for renaissance of the 25 to 30 episode season TV.
This would be 8 to
I,
10.
this would be the 8 to 10, maybe the 6 to 8.
Probably the 6 to 8. God shoot me. You know what it is too is like I'd imagine you know what would be weird? I think the Hellboy the Crooked Man would look a lot better if it was on like a worse camera, like a film camera. Like a 90s
Yeah,
TV film camera.
yeah. No, I get that because there was a little bit of grit, but it could have used a little bit more fuzz.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
fuzz.
That helps kind of mesh with some of the more questionable effects.
Yes. But yeah, I'd recommend everyone picking up Hellboy on Amazon, or if you would like to wait for the Blu-ray, do that too. I would love to get more of this. If it's, they could do a thing where I love to bring this up because I doubt anyone else but me knows about this show. So I love to talk about it. Do the release schedule of Sharps Rifles, which is was a TV show, kinda, in the 90s through the 2010s, where it was like a movie-sized episode. Like every let's see. The first 14 episodes or movies, you could say, came out between 1993 and 1997. And 93, 93, 94, 94, 94. Yeah, so they did like 2 the first year, then 3 for every subsequent year. But they were like basically like TV shows, like quality episodes that were like a movie. It was basically like this. And so instead of like a regular TV show, it was like a series of TV movies.
I mean, I'd take it.
Starring Sean Bean as the titular Sharp, based on the Sharps books by Bernard Cornwell, who I think most people would know him now as being the guy who wrote the books that they based the Last Kingdom show on.
Oh, okay.
The show that George R. R. Martin told people to watch instead of Game of Thrones.
The show that Mark Hamill went on and seemed to be revitalized after being soul sucked by the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, man. So I'm just saying, like, Bernard Cornwell knows what he's doing. But yeah, the Sharps movies are really interesting because they're like, it's like 16 movies that are like TV quality TV movies instead of your regular like, because the Sharps stories are all like it's about like a soldier in like the Napoleonic Wars, like fighting in battles. So like if that was a show, it'd be like, oh man, this is a lot of money. But like if we do 3 episodes a year,
Yeah. Yeah, that's isn't that kind of like what Luther did?
basically, yeah, basically what Luther did, where they were like, we're just gonna do this when we just do a couple when we have time and when we get the people together. But I think it's a good. I think for Hellboy, given like I'm sure that costume is a bitch to wear in wherever they were filming that. So I'm sure you're either too hot or too cold, depending on where you're filming.
Yeah, for sure.
I dig it. I don't know, straight to Amazon, I guess, or something, whatever the fuck. But shit, dude, give me more of this.
Yeah, I'd be curious because I know that this was just one short story in Hellboy, and from my understanding, because I wanted to go through it, obviously American comics are weird and they like branch out in all different directions, everything like that. But Hellboy seems a little bit more confined. It looks like there are approximately 16 stand-alone-ish short stories, and then there's the main series. So I don't know exactly where in the timeline the Crooked Man falls. I assume it's closer to the beginning, right? Because they found him in World War II.
Man, we'd have to ask Joe, but I don't know where he is, man.
Next, we'll bring in our resident Hellboy expert in the future. Yeah, I have questions. Questions that
I have questions about the lore.
Exactly.
But
Lore
speaking of indie stuff that you should probably check out. So let's talk about Markiplier for a minute. Oh my god! So
is there news?
There's news. So Markiplier, like a week or two ago, made an update about his movie Iron Lung, saying that there's a thing coming out soon that he apparently did years ago that has just been sitting like on like the back burner, not getting released. Called Edge of Sleep, and it's a TV show. It's a horror show coming out like this Friday.
Okay.
And Mark has basically said that like that there's like almost no like press on this, no marketing, but if it does well, it will help Iron Lung.
Okay.
So this is a call to action.
This sounds suspiciously, and I'm not familiar enough. I'm not to say that this is a cheat or anything like that, but this, from how that is framed, that reminds me, like all of the actors and writers or whatever, Teen Titans go to the movies. We're like, hey, if you go see this, we'll definitely bring back the original Teen Titans. I was like, what? Why are you doing this? Why are you holding me hostage?
Oh my god. This, I think, feels a bit different because there is an Iron Lung movie already filmed, ready to go.
Yes, that is true.
So I think it's more like this will probably help that.
Yeah, this sounds like they could be having issues attracting distributors, so we're gonna release this and let them get eyes on it, see how it does, and then maybe it'll do enough for a distributor to be like, oh yeah, we wanna take your next release, So
please,
it's a gamble.
God, please, dear God. But that's my my indie news update.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if you want to talk about anything special that you've been doing.
It's fair. Here, let me. So I've been watching things always, as I do. Well, real quick. Why don't we just take a trip to the asylum? So this last week I watched Evil Eyes, which
I gotta get
we
to your account.
yeah, please. Which is now the second movie from
The asylum.
that has a Baldwin in it, but there's a caveat.
No.
It is in
And
fact
even
Adam
worse.
Baldwin,
Oh wow.
not a Baldwin.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, it's no relation. Thank goodness. For him. But
That could be good.
yeah, it's so he plays a writer who he finds that things that he writes about for movies that he's writing start to happen in his real life.
Alan Wake?
Yeah, basically. But he's like he's supposed to be writing like biopic of a murderer that like existed, and so like some of the trends in his life start happening. And there's this really like creepy old German director that's like in charge. He's just like, oh, I love your work. You have to keep writing. And he's like, oh, he's getting off on it, suffering everything. It didn't stick out too much. It was weird to me. Him and he had like another friend who's a writer, and they kept talking about trying to get this deal with DreamWorks, and I was like, you're writing like murder mysteries and horror films. Is that? I don't think this came out a little bit after Shrek. I don't think there's a whole lot there that you're gonna get. But yeah, so that was Evil Eyes. We are closing in.
Yeah, there's like no good screenshots to use for the thumbnail. I'm so sorry, Evil Eyes.
I'm not surprised. But we are, I'm telling you now, we're closing in on the dawn of the mockbuster. It's not, it's in the distance. We're going to see it soon. And then this whole segment is going to change. But also, I watched...
I found the full movie on YouTube.
That is where I watched it. Or I might have watched it on Pluto? I don't know.
I also know it's on
It's
Mubi.
not hard to find.
Oh my god, it has Crowley from Supernatural.
Oh, is that... I don't know.
It's okay, you're not gay. You wouldn't know. It's fine.
That's right.
You're excused.
Hey.
And it has a guy who plays villain in a lot of things.
That's probably the creepy German director.
Yes!
Yeah. No,
oh my god.
Again, he's great. All of his scenes are wonderful.
Oh my god, dude. I couldn't tell that was him from the poster because it looks so bad.
It's yeah, he looks like a little goblin in the poster.
Brother, what the fuck?
It's a choice. It's a creative choice.
Known for almost 300 films.
Yep. This being one of them. But I also watched this '90s movie called Fire in the Sky. I don't know if you've heard of this or seen this. This is my more miscellaneous pick.
I might have. Oh my god, it's right. He was in Dracula 3000. That movie's so great. In a bad way. Fear.com.
Oh fuck! I remember Fear.com.
Brother.
The birth of dark web horror.
I we need to revisit Fear.com. It's been in like 2 decades.
That's
right. He's in Blade. Dragon Eddie.
Oh god.
That guy is so a vampire. Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. Again, every scene that he's in, I love it. Like he again, much like Effie Cobb, he's chewing the scenery in every scene he's.
Much like Effie Cobb.
Yeah.
No one's ever said that, nor will they say that again.
Nope. If you want to understand that reference, go buy The Crooked Man.
Please. Fire in the Sky. This looks alien to me. Huh? That's a joke now, because now it's an aliens.
It is. It is.
Can you watch movies with more thumbnailable screenshots, please?
Listen, the next one should be very thumb screenable, so don't you worry.
Yeah, I think I got one though. I think I got one.
But so Robert Patrick is the head of this like little lumberjack entourage, and they're doing a project. They're chopping down trees and stuff like that. And they see a UFO, and it snatched one of their buddies, and they have to run away and escape. Um, and so they call the police, missing persons. They send in Detective James Garner, who's fucking great in this.
Kyle Gallner?
Yeah, no, wrong.
Denied.
But
Sit down.
but I love this starts off with the real classic framing device where it's them like sitting in a room being questioned by him, a casual setting like interrogation, but it's
Like
the classic
Persona
detective
5, yeah.
being like probably.
Sorry.
But James Garner's just being like, oh, tell me what happened, and so they tell him, and they decide to be very straight with it. And like the first half of this movie is really good because like they decide to tell the truth supposedly about what happened. No one believes them because they're saying that their friend was abducted. They all think that they actually just killed him. And it's like it's this super small town. Everyone knows they're kind of set up. There's like this gathering in town hall when they're like arguing with them, and Robert Patrick's there, and he like speaks up, and he's like, "How can any of you say this about me?" And it's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And it's this really like it's this very emotional, like good sort of representation of what that is like to be like immediately found guilty in the court of public opinion, and to like not be able to prove that what you're saying. And they like kind of play around with the idea of like, maybe they're reliable narrator. And then the friend comes back, and he's fucked. And then that's kind of where it starts losing steam because he has like PTSD from all his alien shit. Spoilers for any movie I talk about. But so he's having like flashbacks about like what happened. So we see the aliens, we see the alien ship and stuff like that. And they're still like playing around with like unreliable narrator and like no one believing them. And I'm kind of like, well, I know it's true now. And like, it kind of just peters out. It just kind of ends with the guy who got abducted. He gets pissed off because him and Robert Patrick are like best friends, and Robert Patrick ran away, and he like came back to try to look for him. He was already, and so he was like, "Oh, you left me," and he was like, "No, it was." They have like a rift, and then like years later they come back together, and they do the weird the thing I always think is weird in completely fictional movies. Like at the end of Unbreakable, they have like the ending text saying like, "This is what happened after the event," and I was like, "What? Okay, this isn't a real story."
This didn't really happen.
This didn't really happen. Did you just run out of budget? Did you not want to film this stuff that you're telling me happened? So it's fun. I do recommend it. I think you get a pretty solid performance. Just know that the first half is better than the second. Sad to say. And then I did watch more films, but the last in my threesome, wherein I watched things from the 1001 movies you should watch before you die list. I watched the OG 30s Boris Karloff Frankenstein.
I could hopefully get a thumbnail out of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say this should be very easy. You just Google Spirit of Halloween, you'll find shit.
Shit.
So I forget if I talked about it on the show. I assume I did, but maybe I didn't. But earlier on the list and that I previously watched was the OG Bela Lugosi Dracula, which I thought did such a great job of being an abridged version of the book, because it's like 88 minutes. You gotta trim down on some stuff. You get that, but like the core of it's there, and it's like really solid. This was my first time watching the OG Frankenstein, and I kind of thought it sucked. I gotta be perfectly honest.
I saw it 2.5, and I was like, yikes.
Yeah, as an adaptation, like, here's the thing. The Dracula film is like 88 minutes, abridging down Dracula. Frankenstein, which, while I'll grant you, is a shorter book, is a much more complex book than Dracula. And the Frankenstein movie is even shorter than Dracula. So to me, like, one of the most interesting parts of the Frankenstein book is when we are just following the monster on his own, and he grows and goes on his own journey, confront Frankenstein and like speak to him normal as a person, be like, questioning his existence and stuff like that. All of that shit is cut. He's just a monster, and that it was so fucking disappointing. Because like
Score one for Monster Squad, am I right?
Fuck.
Who did this?
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's Monster Squad, such a good fucking movie.
I'll have to watch it.
Bruh.
Yeah.
You've never seen Monster Squad?
I don't think so. Is this another tokusatsu?
I love you so much. No. No, it's an 80s like it's like, it's like a younger audience centered movie, but it's about these group of kids who like run into like the Universal monsters.
Oh, okay.
And they have to fight Dracula and Wolfman and the Mummy and the Beast from the Lagoon and Frankenstein.
That sounds fun.
But Frankenstein's good, obviously.
That's good. Because that's the thing is, like, I don't know why I was expecting. I guess because Dracula was so good, but like I'm already familiar with like the Hollywood perception of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Because like when I first read the book back in, and I was like, oh, he doesn't have the weird flat top head and the bolts in his neck, and he's not just grunting and groaning. Like, like Frankenstein's monster is an actual character. And, I should have known, this is the film that kind of originates all the tropes about the monster that are wrong. So,
yeah.
Also, they very weirdly changed his name from Victor Frankenstein to Henry Frankenstein.
Henry?
Henry, yeah, and I looked into this because I was like, why the f*** is he Henry Frankenstein?
George Frankenstein.
And apparently they thought that Victor sounded like too harsh of a name, and that he like wouldn't be received sympathetically by American audiences if his name was Victor.
What?
And then there's another
crazy.
character in the movie named Victor, who's one of the good guys. So I'm like, it's baffling.
There was an idea.
There were ideas. Yeah, I think those are the only two of the Universal monster movies that are on the 2001 list. So I'll have to pursue Wolfman and the Mummy and the Creature of the Black Lagoon on my own. But yeah, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, big oof. Very, very disappointed. That might be a hot take, but it shouldn't be. Oh.
You tell him. You speak your truth.
That's right.
So I noticed that you were going through the VHS movies, and I have a problem with that. Because you didn't back-to-back jump between ABCs of Death, so you got to restart. You did it wrong.
No, listen. I'm doing ABCs of Death after all of the VHSs because I know that the shorts are even shorter. So the format changes.
But I saw you saw 94. Dude, 94 is so fucking good.
94 is so good, and to be fair, I did watch it very shortly after Viral, which is a garbage fire on my street.
So it probably looked even better than it actually is.
It looked fucking amazing. It's a full star higher than Boris Karloff's Frankenstein. So,
yeah, man. I love it. I love Storm Drain, the subject, Terror. Dude, it's fucking good.
Yeah, I think I said in my review, but this pretty much feels like the definitive use of the concept. Like, we're now in the 90s, so it being VHS is justified. One of the shorts actually ties into the overarching narrative, so it now has a purpose beyond just queuing up each of the shorts.
Yes.
I feel like Storm Drain is the one that gets all the attention. Probably the best one of all the shorts. So it was great.
Man. The subject is crazy.
The subject is very good. Because that's
one of the guys. I'm sorry, you go.
No. That's the one where it's the point of view of the mad scientist creation, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, those were the two I specifically shouted out because I do love what the subject did. I love that it eventually becomes POV shooter, which it just goes bonkers. I also love that it's the only one to not feel like a VHS, and I was like, okay, we're in a mad scientist lab. I'll buy that he has 8 cameras. It's fine.
Yeah. And that's the guy who did L for Libido in the first ABCs.
Oh, I forget. Was that one good?
It was well directed, but it had cheese pizza in it, so I didn't love it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember what you were. I remember your description of it. That's right.
Yes.
Well,
gotta be careful with what I say.
I feel ya.
I gotta find a way to get VHS in this thumbnail. Open a link. No. But he's doing a movie that I'm interested in. Oh, that just saved that? Okay. Upcoming? Is there a list for upcoming projects? What is he doing? That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's the US remake of Train to Busan.
Okay. I don't want a US remake of Train to Busan, but
now after watching the subject, are you like, well, this will probably be directed well?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, I guess it's gonna have good zombie scenes. I just probably won't care about the characters all that much.
Well, I just want it to be like the subject where it'll be the US remake of Train to Busan, but it's not actually set in the US. It's set in Thailand now. And it's like, fuck you.
Fuck you. But apparently first he's doing Nobody 2.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay.
The funny thing is, because I saw the trailer. It's John Wick with Bob Odenkirk. I don't really care, but since it's come out, I keep hearing that it's low key pretty good.
Yeah, me too. And also, it saved his life or whatever.
Oh, is that
whatever? But yeah, he.
Because he had a heart attack.
Yes, and he's able to withstand it because he was doing training for Nobody.
Well, thank God.
So he had the constitution essentially to, tank the heart attack to get to the hospital because he was doing that movie.
Thank God, because I'm not ready to let go of Bob Odenkirk.
Neither am I, man.
We have not milked him dry yet. He needs to keep doing movies and shows until he's fucking 90.
He's so good in The Bear, bro.
He's in The fucking Bear? Oh, shit.
Who isn't in The Bear, man? The Bear has a crazy-ass cast.
Oh, that's right. He's in I Think You Should Leave as well. And whenever I do my chronological edit of Bad Universe, I'm going to put that skit in because it's great. But yeah, so I'm curious about Nobody. I think that Nobody 2, Bob Odenkirk is also working on the script. He's like part of the writing team. So,
Nice.
I'm curious. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, to close out VHS. So there's still I still have VHS 85, 99, and beyond.
I
And
think
I'm
I
a
did
little
too.
concerned. Um, yeah,
Also, I can't
I'm
forget to mention the militia that has the vampire hostage.
that one. That one I had to do like a chore around, so I missed some of it. But it was like what I saw was still very good. A lot of face melting and face ripping off in VHS 95, 94. I was like, oh, like I don't know. They like that was weird that like I feel like at least once someone got their face ripped off and melted. It's a very
Yeah.
specific kind of kill.
Well, it was like how in ABC's of Death, like every single like there was like 5 skits in a row that had like someone dying from something going in their ass and out their mouth.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you know a guy, and
Yeah.
like, hey, can you keep doing this effect for us?
Yeah, but they did 3 VHS movies. No, 4 technically. One a year.
Yeah, yeah, and I like. So I don't know what your perception is. So you're for movies and like I would say the first VHS is okay. The second one is like a better. Viral is a garbage fire in my street, and then VHS 94 is like the best version of the concept. But I feel like it kind of poisons the well because I'm kind of like, are you just gonna do this again? Like, I I don't know what direction they can go in to make it unique, or if that is a priority. If it is just to, because I love the anthology format. Honestly, if they ended up just dropping the frame narrative, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I
But
think
like
the frame narrative is always the weakest in every VHS movie.
100%. And I've heard that I think 99 does something different. Like
Okay.
it doesn't have. I've heard it has something else besides a frame narrative. Um, and then I just watched cross promotion here. I just watched the Fictitious Dark breakdown
Oh
of
my god.
VHS Beyond. It's funny. I'm plugging in it. It's an episode that Joe wasn't on. But it's great.
Oh, that's awesome,
Uh,
man.
so but apparently VHS Beyond is it's all alien stories.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, and apparently one of them, you'll love this. You
Oh,
probably
I
already
know.
know this.
Oh, I know.
Written by your boy MF motherfucker
Mike Flanagan, but more
Mike
importantly,
Mike Flanagan.
directed by my girl, KS, Kill Self, Kate Siegel. I couldn't think of a good thing. Yeah, no, it's Kate Siegel's directorial debut.
That's great. That's terrific.
I know when I was at their panel at Comic-Con, she was super excited to do it. And I think she had already done it by then, but I think she was like really like loved the experience of directing.
I'm glad because they're married, right? Is that
Yeah.
am I correct? Okay. Yeah. So you love to see that. You love to see the partnership and
It's a power
projects.
couple right there.
You love to see it. It's great.
That kid's gonna have insane genetics. It's like, did you hear that the oh my god, for some reason my Opera exit saved my the one of the photos I grabbed for the Ratma skit as like my browser wallpaper. No, but did you hear the thing where Tony Hawk's son and Kurt Cobain's daughter had a kid?
What the fuck?
That's like the most 90s baby ever. That kid better. It's gonna have some crazy expectations put on him.
That kid better be fucking shredding on the guitar while he shreds on the skateboard.
I know. What if the kid's like, I'm an accountant, Dad? It's like, oh, fuck. That's what I love.
Good for you. And how was it?
So, growing up, we always have, like, the story of, like, the nerd son is with the jock dad. I want the movie where it's, like, the nerdy parents are, like, one's, like, a game developer, one's, like, an actor or something, and their son's, like, Mom, Dad, I want to be an accountant. I love balancing checkbooks.
Damn.
It's like the skit. Oh, yeah, here you go.
No, please go ahead.
Were you going to talk about Daniel Radcliffe?
No, I was going to talk about Patton Oswalt.
Oh, it's like the Daniel Radcliffe skit he did at the end of Harry Potter, where he just really wants to be like a ticket cop, like just ticketing cars that are parked for too long, and he hates being an actor and he hates doing Harry Potter, and his real passion is ticketing cars that go past the meter.
I mean, I would believe it. You know,
I gotta find that for you for afterwards.
That's like how what is it? Rupert Grint bought an ice cream truck, but then he never bothered to get like certified or anything, so he can't actually rate it.
I love that, dude.
But no. I was gonna say your concept. We're seeing a bit from Patton Oswalt where he talked about like the scariest thing, like the worst thing his kid could turn out to be would be like a jock, where he just shits on Patton Oswalt and like breaks his toys. It's like, oh man.
That's honestly though, it's true. It's like, could you imagine?
I wouldn't know what to do. Love him by the way, of course. But if he's like, Dad, I really want to be in varsity football, I'll be like, oh shit, I'll go to your games. I'm not. But I
don't know what I'm doing here. Help me.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat so many fucking hot dogs.
So let's see what else I can talk about. So a fun thing happened actually. So I'm sure you don't know what this is, but that's okay because we can learn you up real good.
Oh boy.
No, it's nothing bad.
Okay, all right.
Why so serious?
Listen, we'll see how it goes.
So, have you ever heard of the amazing Digital Circus?
No.
I've lost you already. That's okay. I don't think I ever had you really.
No.
So
I don't know where I am.
Digital Circus, you're hostage, is an animated web show about a girl named Pomni who gets sucked into like a colorful, like early 90s 3D vibed world where there's like a talking chess piece, there's like a talking rabbit guy, there's a talking like Raggedy Ann doll, and they're all like being held captive. And this girl Pomni is like a jester girl now, and they're all being basically held captive by this crazy guy. And he's essentially like trying to run his own like animated kids cartoon, but he's not the best at it. So like a lot of things go wrong, and it's really creepy and like very like esoteric and like mind fucky. Like there's a bit in an episode where there's like these bad guys, and they accidentally like Pomni and this bad guy like clip through the environments into like the staging area for like all the models and characters, and the bad guy like finds his model and is like questioning his existence.
Oh god.
Because now he knows he's not real and he's just a simulation.
Oh god.
It's stuff like that. And the episodes don't come out very often because they're like fully animated episodes done by like an indie team.
Sure.
Like doing their own episodes. But they're really fucking good. The third episode just came out the other day. Let's see. The pilot was a year ago. Episode 2 was 5 months ago, and episode 3 was 11 days ago. And for context, episode 1 got 353 million views on YouTube.
Oh, God.
And they're all like 25 minutes long. They're like actual episodes.
Okay, all right.
And what's cool is that episode 3 came out, but also it's now on Netflix. It's on both.
Okay.
And also, when I went to Spirit Halloween, guess who was outside the store, plastered front and center? It was fucking Pomni.
My God.
I was like, this is a character that's been in 2 episodes of like a web show. How is she in the Spirit Halloween? And I go in, and they have all the characters, but only in kids. And I'm like, why is it in the kids section when the show is about like questioning your existence?
Well, you got to get kids into that early.
You're right. I should have gotten into that way earlier. Well, it's like it's weird. Like it's weird how so many creepy things are marketed towards kids. I guess it's not weird. It's actually kind of cool, but because like you want to go look up stuff for like I don't know like Garden of Banban or whatever the fuck, or Poppy's Playtime, and you're like, this is like a horror game about death and scary things, but it's like everything's for kids. And it's like, am I weird for being into this, even though it's like definitely for adults?
Well, it's because there's this weird thing where I don't know. I feel like there's stuff like that where somehow the horror of it all just passes right over the kid's head. And they just like the aesthetic and and
the stimulus.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's something you would think traumatizes them. Maybe it does, and it just takes a while for you to see the effect. But
yeah,
definitely
me watching Billy and Mandy.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. Like, fuck. Yeah, it's very interesting how like sometimes kids just don't know enough to be afraid.
Yeah, which is beautiful.
You love to see it.
Yeah, this indie like animated show is now like on Netflix, and it's kind of popping off.
Okay.
I mean, I own a shirt now. I got the Hot Topic. I was like, what the fuck's happening?
My God. So is this like the new Smiling Friends?
No. It would be like if the Smiling Friends guys' original Newgrounds animations popped off like this.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'd say it's very it's very like well made.
Okay.
It's very good. Got good animation, got good acting, got good direction. I recommend the Digital Circus.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
And hey, it's only 3 episodes, and there's only a new one every like 6 months, so there's not really a lot of like
I can keep pace with that.
Exactly. Let's see, what have I been watching this last week? Oh shit. I forgot all about this. Oh no, I'm gonna piss people off.
Please.
I'm going to Google. All right, I'm gonna find a photo of this. Oh my God. I watched some movie over the last week. Called House, which is a 1977 Japanese horror movie. Now, I have been excited for this movie for quite a long time, but I've never actually sat down to watch the film. But like everyone I've heard talk about it has been like, House is such a good movie. And I've always had to kind of just be like, okay, I'll get to it one day. And then I kept not getting to it. And so finally, like the husband and I were looking at movies to watch. And I was like, you know what? Let's watch House. I've heard nothing but like glowing reviews for this movie, practically like for the past 10 plus years. What's the hubbub? And like, if you look at the poster for House, it's of that like orange cat thing looking very creepy. And you're like, damn, okay, this is that horror movie everyone recommends. That looks like it's going to be like a really fucking good time. So I sat down to watch it. And again, I'm very used to Japanese things, especially live action Japanese things. I watch more live action Japanese than like animated Japanese things, like I'd say for the past couple of years. You can say I'm better than most people because I don't watch anime. I watch live action Japanese. I wouldn't say that, but you could say that.
I wouldn't say it either, but it's
exactly. See, I'm not being humble. But sorry, I laughed and I fucked up her hair that I'm making the thumbnail.
Oh no.
So I watched House, and I was, for the first 20 minutes, I was like, this is very kooky and wacky and not what I expected, and had really interesting editing and really interesting like vibe and feel. It was very manic. It was very like, it was kind of implying a lot of things through the editing. And I was at first like, this is a lot, but I kind of fuck with this. This is very inventive. This is very creative. Like, this is an interesting, I think, and I'd say this about the whole movie. It feels like a live action movie done by an animated director who is not concerned about what can be done in the realm of reality.
Okay.
And I think that it really works at first. And there's some scenes later on that I think it still does work too. And at first I'm like, is the bit that the opening is so carefree and happy that it'll be a stark contrast to later in the story when I know it inevitably becomes a horror movie? Kinda. Not really. Because once you get to the titular house, stuff starts to slowly get a bit creepier. And I was like, okay, yeah, now we're fucking cooking. Because now the weird editing and the crossfading and the weird cuts and the odd editing is now being used instead of comedy for horror. And I'm like, all right, okay, we're getting into it. It's getting pretty good. But then throughout the whole rest of the movie, they kept the amount of comedy. And it really didn't work for me. Obviously, it works for a lot of people. This did not work for me, brother. It felt tonally very inconsistent. Not that you can't find comedy in moments of horror. I just don't think this was done very well. And it felt like I could never actually be horrified because it was so goofy, and they were still doing comedy bits. It's not like I was laughing at the quality of the movie. Because again, I'm pretty acknowledgent of budgets and restraints, and this is a 70s movie. So sure. I definitely wasn't laughing at the effects. Even when there were some bad ones. I was kind of like, okay, that's fine. I'm sure this looked a lot better on on my CRT.
Sure.
Where it's compressed as fuck. And I wouldn't have noticed that. So I was like, okay, fine. No, ignore it. And no, but but it's like out of that. Like I acknowledged it and accepted it. Outside of that, the editing was just so manic, and they were still doing bits for this one girl. They just call her Kung Fu. There's like 7 girls that go to the house, and they're all kind of named after like their character trait, which I thought was kind of funny. But there's one girl named Kung Fu where her whole thing she's strong in fights, or like she's like attacked by like logs of wood, and it plays like, dude, the song that plays when Kung Fu starts the fight got to piss me off. And then she would jump around and flip and kick and punch, and then she's like, that was weird. And I'm like, okay, no, we're in the horror movie part of the movie. What the fuck's happening? And I like Evil Dead. And I'm like, this isn't working for me.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like Evil Dead. That sounds like It Chapter 2.
Yes, thank you. Because Evil Dead, when it gets kooky, it's like, okay, but we're like in the middle of movie 2, and his mind broke. Like, exactly. The reason why Evil Dead's comedy works is because there's a moment in Evil Dead 2 when Ash is like, I've lost it. Like, I'm gone. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
because Ash is the majority of the comedy, and when you know what happened to him, there's this like undercurrent of tragedy to his comedy, because it's like, oh
Yeah.
God, you're so broken that you have been terrified beyond the scared anymore. You
Yeah, the
know?
bit where he starts to like dance with the house and then like they're parroting each other and they stop and the house keeps going and they all laugh. Like he's
Oh,
gone, dude. He's
yeah.
not there anymore, man. Um and that's why I think Evil Dead's comedy in horror works, is because it's funny, but it's also tragic, because you're like, he's only having fun because he's literally so broken as an individual that this is now funny to him. Whereas in House, it's just sort of doesn't that's not what happens.
Mm.
And also the whole movie, so like the girls have a crush on their like teacher. Which is a thing that happens. That's real. I get that. So the plot of the movie, and I have to set this up because the end of this character arc is really fucking broke me. So the main girl, I think her name is like Beauty or something. Like, her dad's remarrying this new woman, and so she's like, I don't want to go on vacation with her for summer vacation. So she like sends a letter to her aunt, who's like, yes, come stay with me in my big house, the title house. And then all of her friends are like, oh, stuff happened, so let's go with you to your house. She's like, yeah, let's go to the aunt's house. And they were gonna go with like their teacher for summer vacation. This like adult man teacher is gonna go with his like 7 female students on summer vacation. And they're all
And this isn't a porn, right?
no.
Okay, all right.
And like the students openly have like a crush on him. And I'm like, why is this grown man going to go spend the summer with these 7 girls without their parents? So things happen, and the cat in the poster of House does some shenanigans to ensure that the guy doesn't go with them. And you're like, okay, well, thank God the pedo teacher isn't here on this journey. And then as a relief. So then the girls go to the house. Before they get to the house, they find this watermelon seller who's like, oh, okay, no one goes to the house, it's over there. And then, okay, that's over with. And then throughout the whole rest of the movie, we keep cutting to the teacher. The whole movie, we're cutting back to him going on a quest to get to the house with the girls. And then, like, as the movie's happening and all these scary things are happening, which there's admittedly a lot of like really good scary moments in House that are really creepy. But then the culmination of this teacher is that he gets to the watermelon seller, and then like he's like, I prefer bananas. And then the next time we see the teacher, he's just been turned into a pile of bananas. And that's what we spent the whole movie building up to with him.
That sounds very Japanese.
Like, I'm not, it's not like you can't give me a good reason why that's good. I tried to watch a video where someone like tried to explain it, and they were being like, they had the video essay voice of like, House released in that voice.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it so poetically, and I'm like, it's not. It's not. It's just a wacky movie. I think where they tried to make it so over the top, or maybe that's what made it scary, and maybe that worked. It did not work for me. It was a total mess. Every time they had a good scary scene, it would ruin itself by having like 3 funny scenes, and we're like cross-fading between the scenes and also having to go check up on pedo teacher.
Oh man.
It was such a fucking letdown.
Aww.
It was tragic.
And you said you'd been hearing about this for like a good decade or so.
Years.
Damn.
Years. You know how many times I watch like a YMS stream and he's wearing a House shirt, and I'm like, damn, I gotta watch House. That poster shirt looks so good. The cat looks so creepy. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is shit.
Damn. I feel like shit. Did I have something like that happen? I feel like I just experienced something like that, but I could be
Great map
mistaken.
paintings though. There's some good visuals.
Hmm.
There was good stuff in house. I get some of the praise. It's
Right.
just together not a good movie.
I feel ya. Oh, I kind of had that happen with The Blob, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I remember people saying that it was like creepy but funny, and like the effects are really good, and it's like a classic. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh man.
I feel
sad.
nothing.
Let's end our discussion today on some gaming stuff. I meant to talk about this last week, but we hit the 2-hour mark and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
You died.
I died. My shoulder was really messed up last week. It went away after like 3 days, but
That's good.
So I also was sort of waiting for Joe, but I'm gonna blow past it. So they announced some things about Halo 2 weeks ago. I know we're a bit late, and I apologize.
Yeah.
But they announced some changes coming to Halo as a series. So for context, like I've been following Halo almost my whole life. I thought 4 was really bad. And then I played 5, but didn't buy 5. 5 was the first one I didn't buy and play on launch because 4 hurt me. And then 5 was also not good. So I didn't play Infinite until like a long while after its release. And then when I did, I played like a mission of the campaign and was like mid as fuck, bye. And then went back to Destiny. So they announced recently some changes coming to Halo. 343 Studios is no more. It is now Halo Studios. Sorry, not 343. Yeah, 343 Industries is now Halo Studios.
Yeah.
Which to me is a pretty bad decision. Because you've now locked with 343 Industries, you could have made non-Halo titles. Like it was a Halo name for your company, but if you wanted to do like a new IP, a new game, a new setting, I think that would have been a pretty easy thing to do and not change your name. But calling it Halo Studios means you will only ever be making Halo games. And it screams of like corporate restructuring to where this is now the Halo studio.
Yes, I agree. And I also do find it ironic they went from being named after one of the main villains to the actual destroyer of worlds. I think it's appropriate.
It's the most apropos.
Yeah, at least they're not being subtle.
That's you know what? I almost appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't lie to me anymore. But I think, if anything, I think they're trying. I think they're now trying to mine what little goodwill is left for Halo or any other game they do, because now you'll be able to see, the big bold from Halo Studios comes.
Oh my god!
And people will be like, "I remember Halo. That game was really good." I guess
know what
these
that
people
is.
had something to do with that, probably.
No.
Right? That I guess in that sense they are still lying to you. So
everyone left years ago. So and to be fair, like I know like Halo Infinite had a really rocky launch.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of promises made that did not get delivered upon. Some of them still have not been delivered upon.
Sure.
The truth of the matter is now, though, is that most of the people who were there when Infinite launched are no longer with the company. So it's kind of hard to ask the new team to be beholden to the old team that made promises like years ago that they never intended on fulfilling.
Yeah.
That said, it's like, man, this is rough, buddy. It's just like, because I haven't talked about the other stuff too. So before this, a couple of days before this, they had announced that they were testing a new third-person mode in Halo Infinite. And this mode... So Halo's always been a first-person series, right? A first-person shooter franchise.
Well, what about Halo Wars, which is RTS? What about Spartan Ops?
No, get it out. Get it out. It's okay. Let it all out.
Did you read the books? Okay, I'm done. That's all I got.
How about the Marvel comics? The audio dramas, Hunt the Truth, I Love Bees.
I watched Forward Unto Dawn.
Did you watch the Halo Reach animatic movie?
No.
I tried. It sucked because animatics suck. Motion comics suck.
The only one I ever liked was Hamilton, and that's just because I was desperate to see it, and that was the closest I could get.
That's fair.
Have I watched it since the actual recording has been officially released? No.
Sorry, I had to make Pommy like scary big in the back to fill space.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah, so they made they made they're experimenting with a third person option. Which I think that if it was done right, I actually wouldn't actually care that much about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's sort of like you build a game with a point of view in mind, right? And you design your game based on how people can see it. So like when you're making a shooter like Halo, the first person matters because of like where your character is, how you're looking, what you can see on the screen, all that stuff. And the maps are developed that way, the guns are developed that way, the gameplay, everything's developed based on that camera angle.
Sure.
So what new fun things are going to happen with the third person now that you're, like imagine going into Valhalla in that like little under the base area in that far wide out third person camera they're doing.
Oh, it'll be so much less stressful. I'll be able to see everything.
Fuck. But also on top of that, the big thing that I really hate is how much it looks like Fortnite. It really looks just like Fortnite to me. And I hate it. I hate it so much. To the point where like they were showing like the gravity hammer swinging, and it looked just like the Fortnite pickaxe. Like I felt vomit begin to rise in the back of my throat.
Oh man.
I was like, that's just Fortnite. Which is funny because then later they announced, at the same time as they announced Halo Studios, they said, hey, guess what? Not only are we now Halo Studios, but all of our future Halo games are going to be in Unreal Engine. Oh my god. So what does that mean? Right? Like, what does it mean to say our game is now using Unreal Engine? So, like, the benefits of using your own built-in engine are that you make an engine that is specifically designed to do what you need it to do. And with that comes like a certain feel to your games, a certain look. You prioritize different things. Like, you ever play like a Bungie game and you think to yourself, fuck, why do the background map paintings look so fucking good? Why do the skyboxes look so fucking good? Even in Destiny today. Because they're still using the same engine that they've been iterating on for years.
Sure.
It's because the engine is built that way to do these things. Like, Destiny is so far from Halo, but they still feel the same because of the engine and how they're doing things and how their workflow is and how it all feels. And the reason why like Destiny and Halo do the things they do is because of the engine that they were using was custom and everything was made specifically for that reason. Once you decide to use Unreal, it does save you a lot in different ways. You don't have to bother making your own engine. You don't have to keep it updated and working. You can focus on just making the game. But you kind of lose some of that charm. Not to say that, like, you have to always make your own engine, but like for a game series that has been doing this for 24 years, the Switch is like, man, this is sad. It's not like game over. It's not like it's the end of the world, but fuck, it's like,
It's hard not to see it as taking a step back, you know, and being like, we don't want to have to deal with this part of it. And it's like, well,
exactly.
But that's one of the core parts of your game, you know.
Yeah, it's like, I'd say a reason to love it, right? Like it's part of the brand, it's part of the feel, it's part of the charm.
Yeah,
is the engine and how the game looks and feels and plays. It's gonna feel different. It's gonna look different. Not everyone might be able to like pick up on it and sniff it out, but it will be.
Oh sure.
And it's just it's you know, the renaming, the wanting to look like Fortnite, using Fortnite's engine. It's the writing's on the wall. It's not over. They really could honestly have hired a whole bunch of new people who know what they're doing, who have passion, who have new ideas, and they could take Halo and push it in a new, interesting direction. We're on like a knife's edge here when it comes to Halo. Like, this could really all fall apart. Because it's been on a spiral for the past 10 plus years. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some people huff the copium that 4 was good. But we can all agree that 5 was subpar. Infinite's launch was terrible. Like, it's been on a slope. So this restructuring could be putting a break on that and bringing us back up the mountain, or we're spiraling even deeper under.
Well, and another thing, because I don't know if you've seen this circulating. I don't know why I still do, but I saw like a tweet or some other kind of social post from one of the current like developers on Halo, and they were talking about how, I really hate guns. It makes me uncomfortable to be portraying them and using them, but luckily they're sci-fi.
What the fuck?
You know, there have been people that are like, okay, you're working on a military sci-fi shooter series. You don't have to be like a gun nut, but you kind of have to have an appreciation for the mechanics of. You got to be a little bit of a gun nut. Bit, you don't need to be going to rallies or anything like that, but like
you have to at least think they're kind of cool.
Yeah. So my fear that some people have been feeling, I don't really care because the Halo trilogy was great, and Reach was a fun pre. But so people are like, are we gonna see a fade out of human realistic weapons? Are we about to get like ghoulish cartoonish shit?
Who is this developer? What position do they have?
I don't know.
Okay, because I mean, if they're like, I don't know, fucking in charge of QA testing, or like if they're in charge of like, or they're just part of like, I don't know, like character design or like map design, their opinions on guns don't matter to me.
Sure.
Like there was this funny thing where people were trying to dunk on the new Dragon Age game, which I was part of that train because the first trailer was pretty garbo. But there was something about like they were like doing like they're on some IGN whatever, and there was like Dragon Age trivia, and they showed a character, and this one guy didn't know who it was, and everyone's like, "How do you not know you're making the game?" And then it was like, "Oh, he's like one of the like cinematic directors." Like he doesn't have to know the lore. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, hopefully it's a good team doing Halo, and hopefully that person is in charge of any gun things. Maybe that's the sword guy, and they were like, they're just smearing guns.
It could be. Let's see. I have. Let's
Do
see.
you have
I
the
have
tweet?
what looks like a Twitter handle.
Oh God, gimme, yeah.
The PJ Skittles. The actual tweet is, I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes guns. Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Rainbow.
Can you send that to me?
Rainbow Six. Yeah, I just have a screenshot.
Oh yeah, that works. That works.
Let me steal it.
He's gonna steal it, and then he's gonna steal it.
That's right.
And when you're done stealing
okay,
it, steal it.
I will. I'll DM you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I put V.
Oh no. But yeah, they said I've had moments I've struggled with Halo, but the weapons and world is pretty sci-fi, which creates enough separation.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes modern guns. I've had moments I've struggled with Halo, but the weapons in the world is pretty sci-fi, which creates a large enough separation for me. Okay, well, all of his accounts are privated, probably because everyone hated him for this.
Probably.
Says he's a producer, so that might mean that can mean a lot of things.
Producer is pretty vague.
Producer's vague. It's like, are you like the music producer? Are you like the voice acting producer? Are you like what? Yeah. So if it comes out that he's like in charge of like weapon design, it's like, interesting.
Yeah.
But if it's like a super unrelated, like he's in charge of Forerunner lore.
Oh shit. Oh god.
Yeah. I also like on the screenshot you sent me, tried to like highlight his LGBT trans Palestine flag as if it's like a gotcha.
Oh, did it?
It did.
Oh yeah, it's red boxed.
That's very funny.
Oh yeah, zoomed out. I thought it was a German flag, but it is in fact. There's more colors.
There's more colors than that, yeah. But speaking of the sister series to Halo, I'd argue the better of the two in its current state, not overall, obviously, because that'd be heresy.
Right.
They announced a new Destiny game that goes into early access in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
Like public alpha testing, not early access. Sorry, that's misinformation.
Oh, okay. Fake news.
Yeah, in like 2 weeks. It's called Destiny Rising. And it's a mobile game. Oh. Hold on now. That's not as cool.
I was waiting waiting for the SmackDown to come where I could be like, I don't know. So if it's just Destiny 2 but more, I'm like, but this is even worse.
It's a really weird story. So let's break it down. So it's called Destiny Rising, and it's going to be a mobile game. But
gross.
You might think like, oh, it's going to be like, I don't know, like Clash of Clans or like fucking whatchamacallit, like Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
You know, but it's actually like a first person and apparently optional third person like shooter. It's gonna be just Destiny on your phone. Not like, oh, it's a game set in the Destiny universe that's just an idle game. No, it's like a legit, like an actual Destiny game for your phone. And they're going to have like a single player campaign featuring multiple characters. They're going to have like social spaces that you can, like, your friends can visit, all in first person and apparently optional third person, which is very interesting given what we talked about with Halo. But their third person doesn't look like Fortnite's. That's why it's better in my mind.
Okay. All right.
It looks like their typical third person, not like, hey, please, the Fortnite people play our game. I swear we'll add in the Battle Royale one day. That Halo feels like. And it's also not being done by Bungie.
Okay.
It's apparently was licensed out to a I think it's South Korean. I could be wrong because, as you can see from the screen, I'm currently editing a picture for the thumbnail, so I'm not looking at the internet. But I think it's South Korean or like a South Asian company, and they apparently like licensed out the Destiny property from Bungie.
Okay.
And it's set in like an alternate history of the Destiny world.
Huh.
Yeah, it's gonna have like all new characters and have characters. It's like, there's no character create. You play like stories of these characters. And it looks really interesting. I'm not sure how the fuck it's gonna play on a phone, because it dead ass looks just like a Destiny game.
Yeah, because I think I think first person shooter on mobile, and I think of like that shitty port of Call of Duty Zombies, and oh boy, is that not fun? That's it. I've heard that some mobile games are coming out, like hook up a controller to your phone, like you can.
Yes, the devs have already said that's the way they would prefer you play this Destiny mobile game.
Okay, all right.
They've said like you could do a touch screen, but they've designed it to be done with like some sort of like attachment that makes it a controller, and then just turns your phone into the screen. Which just makes it sound more like this is a Destiny mobile game. That's actually just Destiny on your phone.
It's fair, because I guess kind of gone are the days of getting a new handheld console. It's all just hook up your phone to a controller, which
it's like it's your phone. You get a Steam Deck, which is like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Or you get a Switch, which doesn't have everything and is also not as high quality. Like the graphics on Switch are a bit lesser. Probably closer to, honestly, to the Destiny mobile game graphics, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, you gotta tone down mobile graphics a little bit, so.
But it still looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
There's PvP, there's PvE, there's 6-man PvE raids. It sounds like a whole ass Destiny game. Like, it sounds like an actual game. It sounds nuts. Like, it has everything that I think you'd want in a Destiny game, but just in mobile. Like, it has all these features off the bat.
Yeah, hopefully it seems like an ambitious project for a mobile game. I feel like that is an industry that's still kind of in its infancy. Like there's definitely a level where it's settled at, but it feels like we haven't pushed the limits of what mobile gaming can be.
I'd say it has more room to grow.
Yeah.
But mobile game is the mobile market is fucking huge.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it dominates console and PC marketing. And a lot of it is because, like, a lot of, like, in Asia and, like, Japan, Korea and stuff, like, mobile gaming is way bigger. And they also they go harder on mobile games because they think that, like, I was reading a study once where it was um like in those countries paying to win is more accepted because they see working as an intrinsically like core value. So if your work enables you to pay to win in the game, that just means that you're doing well in your life, and like that's like what you should be doing. That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
like games like Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact go fucking crazy over there. So you gotta imagine this game. I gotta look up the studio because I'm reading this thing and this press release came from China, so this might be actually be a Chinese studio.
Mm.
But uh, tell me where you're from. Where are you? Um, yeah, they're in China, they're in South Korea, and they're in Tokyo.
Mm.
Yes, so they know all about the mobile game. Oh, dude, they did Identity V? That's crazy. That Identity V is basically just Dead by Daylight but mobile. Um my husband played that for a while and it looked like a lot of fun. They did the fucking Harry Potter Magic Awakened game. That looked great and burnt my phone how to emulate it on my computer.
God.
It had a really good art style.
Hmm.
It had like a very like storybook Tim Burton-y look to Harry Potter. It was sick.
Okay.
So okay, they know what they're doing. They make games. They know what the fuck they're doing. So I will be emulating Destiny Rising when it comes out. But
There you go.
I say this is a good move because like I think that they said too is this is a more casual experience aimed at new players who have not played Destiny before.
Okay.
I think the idea is that they want to get like the Eastern market. And then also for people who maybe are more mobile gamers, they play this and they go, wow, it's a lot of fun. I could get Destiny 2 and get way more of this.
Sure.
I think it's smart.
Oh yeah, you gotta try to tap into new markets. Again, it's all Greek to me because mobile games not my thing, and Destiny 2 was not my thing.
I know. I'm sorry.
I just hope everyone has fun.
Man, I was reading a thing because they're talking about the next like year or two of Destiny 2, and there was a thing where one of the people were like, yeah, we want to make Destiny 2 more approachable because right now you need a PhD to know how to play the game. And I'm like, yeah.
It's true, you know.
It's
Yeah, I'm
there's
an
a
old
lot
man.
of there's a lot of things flashing at you.
There is, and when I uh your 2 hours to get to the multiplayer, only for that to be also confusing. Oh man.
It sucks because Destiny has fucking outstanding gunplay. Like it feels so good to play that game.
Mm.
It's why I keep going back to it. I can't stay away. I
It's
want
gotcha.
it something about that. I mean, it's that it's 20 plus years of Bungie FPS design. So like that part is fantastic. But the new player onboarding fucking stinks.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to be convinced to play that when I could just replay the Halo games.
That's right. One
Kind
through
of stuff.
Reach.
One through Reach.
And for anybody who tries to come at me and be like, oh, did you know, Sal, that Halo Combat Evolved was at one point a third person? Yes, I do know that, but before that it was an RTS, so shut up.
Got him.
Try me, I will fucking kill you. Do not come at me with that shit. And it didn't look like fucking Fortnite either.
I would hope not.
It's specifically how the camera acts, I swear to God. Like, it's not good. That's super zoomed out and really floaty.
Yeah, I yeah, I know. I'm very happy with how Fortnite is in my life, but it's there enough where when you say it plays like Fortnite, I understand.
I am so
It's,
sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm. Ugh.
Well, I'd say that was the Shuttlecast. I got to finally do my Halo talk, then I had a Destiny thing came up. Yeah, the other day, I think it was yesterday, they announced it, and the trailer looked amazing. I put the really hot goth girl in the thumbnail, who's one of the
As you
playable
do.
characters. I was like, oh my god, Destiny Mobile has waifus, it's gonna win.
It's,
It's gonna win, bro. It's gonna...
again, know your audience, you know?
Seriously, that's why there's that other looter shooter called The First Descendant that, like, is very similar to Destiny, but third person. And they even took a bunch of, like, Destiny icons, and they had to switch it because people noticed. But
Oh,
that
no.
game's main marketing thing is, like, we got hot girls in our game.
I mean, that's what mobile gamers want, man.
You gotta take a look, Bungie.
Well, it looks like they're taking notes.
Stop hiding Marasov. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening to the Yapcast. Looking at the thumbnail, what a slew of conversations.
It was, it was a nice, diverse discussion today.
I like how I found the lowest quality art PNG I could find. It looks so toasted.
Good. I'm glad. It's always a pleasure to see what the turns out to be.
It's chaos. And now that it's in real time, people get to see my machinations. All right,
Is
this.
is Hellboy finally in the foreground? Has he broken through?
He's in the foreground. He's pretty big.
Hey.
I'd say he's the biggest next to Pomni and then Goth Girl from Destiny Mobile.
All right. Well, Hellboy needs some bitches. So
Yeah, well, listen, she had to round out the end of the thumbnail. Because I was like, we're not talking about anything after Destiny. I'm like, shit, we hit the end.
There you go.
All right, thank you all so much. We'll be back next week with, what's coming out this weekend? I think Smile 2?
Oh, shit.
You know my ass is seeing Smile 2. And tomorrow I'm seeing Happy Death Day 1 in theaters.
Oh, shit. They re-releasing that?
Yeah, man.
Very fun.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Smile 2 this week. I mean, I'm seeing that shit. I got so much to say about Smile 2 even before it's come out. I have a lot to say about Smile 2.
Oh, shit. All right. Well.
And no Penguin update. I'm halfway through the episode. I've been crunching at my job all week, so I didn't watch much Penguin.
Well, hey, that just means 2 for next week. So.
That's right. I watched 20 minutes while I was letting stuff render, and then I was like, I gotta get back to work.
There you go.
All right, everyone, thank you all so much, and keep shuttling. I'll think of an outro at some point.
Keep casting.